Imagine yourself walking on a trail in the wilderness. It's peaceful, the air feels crisp and clean, and the water in the river beside you looks crystal clear. The landscape is unique, and there are plants and animals that aren't found anywhere else in the world. Now imagine looking at the ground beneath you more closely. You see grains of sand and clay, rocks, leaves, insects, and, disconcertingly, microplastics. Mass production of plastic only began in the 1950s, but in that short amount of time, plastic has become ubiquitous and is found in shoes, clothing, packaging, construction, electronics, and a myriad of other materials. These objects can break down and form microplastics, which are small plastic fragments between 1 micron and 5 millimeters in size. Microplastics are now found everywhere from busy cities and farms to remote parts of the ocean and wilderness. Hiking and trail running are increasingly popular and are thought to be a leading source of microplastics in wilderness areas, including national parks, conservation reserves, and World Heritage sites. Trails can extend deep into remote and pristine parts of the wilderness that play a valuable role in conserving biodiversity and protecting the habitats of vulnerable and endangered species. There were 60 million visitors to New South Wales National Parks in 2018, and even if each person only left a small number of microplastics, it adds up to a lot. My PhD is studying the potential impacts of microplastics from hiking and trail running on soil health in wilderness areas. There are several key questions we need to answer. How many and what types of microplastics are left on the trail surface by your average visitor? What happens to these particles? Do they stay on the trail or do they move away and into nearby vegetation and waterways? And what are the long-term impacts on soil chemistry and biology? My results so far have shown trail surfaces can have a high number of microplastics. We found up to 3,000 per square metre on a trail in a conservation reserve near Armidale, and the majority were fibres and rubber from clothing and shoes. Studies have shown that in high enough amounts, these microplastics can alter soil structure, leach a range of chemical compounds into the surrounding environment, impact microbial activity and vegetative growth, and have toxic effects on soil organisms. There may also be impacts on the broader landscape, including reduced biodiversity and changes in patterns of soil erosion. When we visit wilderness areas, we aim to take only photos and leave nothing but footprints. But I encourage you to ask yourself the next time you're on a trail, what does your footprint really leave behind?